Welcome back, everyone, to AgriTalk Futures, the podcast where we explore the science, the stakes, and the stories behind food and farming. We're your hosts. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Eli. And today we're diving into a question that affects every single person listening. The guiding research question of this episode is, how is climate change impacting agriculture? And what does that mean for our food supply going forward?
This isn't just a science question, it's a survival question. Agriculture is the foundation of human life, and climate change is reshaping it faster than most people realize.
Throughout this episode, we'll be using research from the EPA, the USDA Climate Hubs, Stanford University, and other credible sources to guide our discussion. And we're doing that because understanding the science helps us understand the future.
Let's start with why this question is important right now. Climate change is often talked about in terms of melting glaciers or storms, but the effects on agriculture are what people feel first in their everyday lives.
Yeah, when farms struggle, grocery prices raise, food becomes harder to produce, and entire farming communities face economic pressure. The EPA emphasizes that climate change is already affecting temperatures, rainfall patterns, and extreme weather events. All of these which directly shape food production.
And we want our audience, whether you're a student, a farmer, or someone just concerned about the economy, to understand that food isn't guaranteed. It's a system sensitive to climate, and that system is being disrupted.
This makes our research question urgent. Understanding how climate change affects agriculture helps us understand how to protect our food supply, our economy, and our future.
Let's start with one of the clearest impacts: rising temperatures. According to a Stanford University study, climate change has already reduced crop yields globally, even in places where farmers are actively adapting.
That part really stood out to us. The study shows that for crops like wheat and corn, and higher temperatures shorten the growing period. Plants grow faster, but that rapid growth means they produce fewer grains.
And it's not just a little drop. Stanford found yield losses of 10% or more in some regions. That's huge. It affects international food trade, global hunger rates, and food security.
Next, extreme weather. The EPA explains that extreme weather events are becoming more severe and more frequent, and each type affecting farms in different but damaging ways.
Reduce soil moisture and kill crops. Heat waves can destroy fields during pollination, and heavy rainfall or even flash flooding ruins crops, erodes topsoil, and delays planting seasons.
And all these events add financial pressure. One bad season can push small farms into debt or force them out of business.
We also looked into the USDA Northwest Climate Hub, which studies farms in Washington, Oregon, and Idaho, and their findings are intense.
They report that snowpack is melting earlier in the year, which reduces available irrigation water in the summer. And for regions that rely on snowmelt, like orchards and wheat farms, that's a serious issue.
Plus, wildfire seasons are longer and more severe. Smoke damages fruit, heat stresses livestock, and farms lose millions of dollars per year.
And we want to emphasize this. These aren't predictions. These are impacts farmers are experiencing right now.
And another thing the EPA highlights is that warmer temperatures expand the range of pests and plant diseases.
Right. Insects that used to die during cold winters now survive. Diseases that couldn't spread in cooler climates now spread freely. And that means farmers have to spend more money on pesticides, fungicides, and equipment just to maintain the same yield.
So, the science is clear. Climate change is attacking agriculture from multiple angles: heat, drought, rain, fire, pests, and even shortened growing cycles.
Now, let's talk about the economic side. Because climate change doesn't just hurt crops, it hurts communities.
The USDA Climate Hub's report shows that farms in the Northwest can lose thousands of dollars per acre from heat damage, drought, and water shortages.
And when crops fail, the entire supply chain feels it. Transportation costs rise. Storages become more expensive because heat spoils food faster. And food companies raise prices to survive.
We all see those price increases at the grocery store. And for low income families, this can mean less access to fruits, vegetables, and other healthy foods.
So climate change isn't just an environmental problem. It's an economic and social problem too.
Let's shift to what farmers are doing because adaptation is happening.
Farmers are experimenting with drought-tolerant crops, adjusting plant schedules, using drip irrigation, and relying on climate data to plan their seasons.
The USDA climate hubs also train farmers to manage soil differently, monitor water more efficiently, and prepare for new pests.
But here's the key point. And Stanford University study makes this very clear. Adaptation helps, but it doesn't fix the root of the problem. Even with new technology, yields are still dropping under rising temperatures.
So, the long term solution has two parts. One, reducing global emissions to slow warming, and two, helping farms adapt to the changes that are already happening.
Both approaches are essential. If we only adapt, we'll always be playing catch up. Oh, God.
So, let's bring this all together. Our research question, how climate change is impacting agriculture, matters because our entire food system relies on a stable climate.
And right now, the stability is slipping. We're seeing reduced yields, more pests, intense weather, and financial pressure on farmers across the world.
But understanding the science empowers us. It helps us to support better policies, smarter farming practices, and stronger food systems.
Because at the end of the day, climate change doesn't just affect farmers, it affects every person who sits down at a table to eat every single day.
Thanks for listening to AgriTalk Futures. Stay informed, stay engaged, and remember, protecting our climate means protecting our food.
Okay. Hopefully that's like, it's got to be over 12.
10 minutes!